NYPA, it's time to start the show, so search for the squad and listen out for the promo with the West Wild Spitter, spin his web into a chokehold. Make it unfold, 5 o'clock. Who gives a damn of what your man to say? We spittin' live wireless, leave you shot with the gamma ray. Ain't no runner-up, cause it ain't the closest to candidate. I block so deep and you draw like Japanese anime. It's just us and the rest, news off the hottest press. Kyle Holton, Philly West, reppin' with the legends, classic interview session, politics, sports segment, live phone, call up a question, it's the NYPA, 95 connection, real people, ain't no script and cue card for direction, just team on their grind time till it's all perfection, throw it past the satellite so you can catch reception, so touch ground with us, we kill challenges, and murder it for every number on your calendars, from west to the boogie down the Greyhound in this, we Google Spot, Anchor Podcast, pocket this.
What if I just did the whole show just doing that? Just staring in the camera. What's he going to say something? His audio must not be working. That fool and turn his mic on. I'm just staring, looking. You guys probably be like, what the fuck? And just click off and say something mean in the comments. I'm just blinking. No? Not entertained? Okay. All right. Okay. I was thinking, or just like read like a book of haikus, but it wouldn't take long because they're very short. Get it short in time. Anyway, thank you for joining me this week on this episode of the NYP Entertainment Radio. I'm actually, well, y'all don't know this because I record and I don't do it live anymore. I'm not yet. So I'm actually recording a little early today on a Sunday here. It's football season and there's a game going on with the Eagles and the Chiefs. And I'm going to look at it. And normally around the time when I do the recording in the NYPA studio, it's around like 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and the game comes on a little bit after that. And I was like, well, let me get the recording out of the way so I won't be too distracted looking up at the camera, well, not the camera, looking up at the screens and checking the scores and things of that nature. So as I'm winding down, the game is about to start, bada beep, bada boop, bada bop, bada boop, and hopefully it'll be a great game and we walk away with a victory. So I'm kind of doing a little bit early in the day, not too much early, an hour out, doing the show and recording it and so forth. But nevertheless, thank you for downloading this week's episode or clicking on this week's episode of NYP Entertainment Radio, the final season, the final journey, the final run. Like I said, at the end of the month, usually I think it was September 26th is the official 15th season of NYP Entertainment Radio. So that weekend, well, the 26th is on Friday, so the 28th, it'll be like the 15th season officially, and I'm running it, and then in December I'm shutting it down for good and starting over again in 2026 with Who Is Kyle Graham. But until then, as you watch this or listen to this, whether on YouTube or on Spotify, click the subscribe button. Doesn't cost nothing. Just subscribe and get notifications of brand new episodes of NYP Entertainment Radio. A lot of stuff that I was waiting for to do with this show, I'll wait for the new show to do. Like I mentioned in the past weeks, I had a list of people I wanted to be on, but I'd rather have them come on the new show and promote that more than the show that I'm about to wind down. So, it's just what I'm working on. So in 2026, Who Is Kyle Graham? Before I jump into topics and things, I'm in the middle of watching on Netflix the Charlie Sheen documentary, aka Charlie Sheen, which is dope so far. I'm like in the middle of episode 2. It's like 2 episodes. And I've been a fan of Charlie Sheen for years and heard the stories, but hearing the stories come out his mouth of the binges he's been on and the crazy wild parties with him and Nick Cage, and it's crazy. I haven't watched it, so watching it. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I'm in the middle of episode 2 when they're about to go. They were like about the drama with the two and a half men about to happen. But so far, I'm a sucker for good storytelling, no matter civilian or celebrity alike. So I love good storytelling, good documentaries, stories, and he has some great crazy ones in them. And he has a book coming out anyway, Charlie Sheen. And it's to me, I I recommend it. Check it out. It's good entertainment. It's his story is coming from him. It's not like a third party, and he's still here to tell his story. You know what I mean? As you know, as we give him his balloons for being sober for the last 7 years, and he's around to tell his story and not someone else like a third or fourth party telling he's like, this is my point of view, this is what happened with me and what I was going through, and like nothing's off limits, whether it's in his new book or whether it's in the Netflix documentary. So check it out. The Jawn is interesting. I didn't, like I said, I didn't finish it yet. I mean, you know how it turns out the man's alive and telling the damn story, but it gives you more this insight of the whole winning and Tiger Blood and all that stuff. When the whole debacle fell apart, and with him and John Cryer, who played his brother on the show, and you get John Cryer's point of view, and it gets deep there. You know what I mean? And I think, and it says in the documentary, and there's an article I'll probably end up reading that I think I came across where they haven't really healed yet. Those two, um, when you're in the thralls of addiction, you do things and say things and so forth. I'm sorry, straighten the camera out here. In the throes of addiction, you do things and you say things that you don't realize, and so forth. So it's interesting. Check it out, aka Charlie Sheen on Netflix. So let's get started. A lot of things going on. I'm not going to get into what y'all think I'm going to do because that's not me. It's not that type of show. So let's just put that to rest. You're not going to hear my point of view on it. I have nothing to really say. Uh, uh, you know, Publicly, this is too much, but you know what I mean. We'll leave it at that. All right. Let's see what I have here. For my Breaking Bad fans. Breaking Bad actor Raymond Cruz arrested after allegedly sprayed water at a woman. That's a bad thing to do, I take it. Unless they want to do it, and anyway. The actor was arrested on suspicion of misdemeanor battery on September 8th, but no charges have been filed yet. Raymond Cruz, the actor who played drug lord Tuco Salamanca on Breaking Bad, was arrested this past Monday on suspicion of misdemeanor battery. The incident occurred around 10:40 a.m. It was basically a dispute with the victim, which is when Cruz allegedly sprayed water towards the victim. LAPD officer David Collier tells this article. The arrest was first reported by TMZ. Cruz talent agent Rafael Burkle said to his article that Cruz, who also starred in The Closer and spin-off Major Crimes, was washing his car in front of his home in Los Angeles when a white minivan with three women parked a half an inch from his bumper. Burkle said Cruz asked them to move their vehicle. They said no. They said no. Burkle said, he goes, come on, move your vehicle. You're not giving me room and it's going to get wet. So he said, okay. He started to clean his car and then they started filming him. Burkle said he asked them not to film him. And when he turned around to tell them stop filming him, he was still hosing his car, and some of the water from his hose hit the front of the car and spilled on their car. And then, believe it or not, one of them called the police, he said, and somehow someone who never been arrested in his life, someone who played a police detective for 15 years in a closer and major crimes, someone who lives in that neighborhood, was put in handcuffs and taken to jail. Raymond was grateful to all the LAPD personnel at the police department because throughout the 5 hours of him being in their jail, LAPD were all very, very gracious and next to him and reassuring, says Burkle. According to the online booking reports, Cruz was released from police custody on his own recognizance and is due back in court October 1st. Misdemeanor charges have yet to be filed against the actor. This is so freaking stupid. This is so stupid. The whole thing is nonsense. It's stupid. It's much to do about nothing. And here, dig the move, right? Now, I get it. What I'm going to say this: his side, their side, somewhere in the middle. Everyone collectively, 1, 2, 3 is the truth. Right now, his point of view. He's washing his car. These Jawns come up in the back of his bumper. He says very nicely, and hey ladies, can you please like move away? And I don't want to spray your car. And then he's being nice, like like Tuco used to do in Breaking Bad. He starts nice. We're gonna make a lot of money, Walter. Anyway, they allegedly said no. He's like, you're gonna get your car wet, please, blah blah blah. So like what most people do when they have phones nowadays, everyone wants to record every little thing. You blow your nose, you sneeze, whatever. Everyone wants to record everything, put it up there. Like, look at this guy walking down the street and he's minding his business, but I want to record him. Everyone does that. They record him. He said, please stop filming me. I'm trying to wash my car, allegedly. The girl lady said, no. So he turns around, which can happen, and was like accidentally sprayed. Now, here's the thing. Whether it was accidental or not, did you really need to call the police? Like, was it that necessary? Had to be some Karens who had to call the police, because I don't think non-Karens would do that. And all Karens are not white. There's some black Karens too. Call them Keishas. But it's interesting because it's like, that's stupid. Why call the police? He sprayed your car by mistake. Whatever. Like, it's water. He didn't rob you, didn't smack you, didn't drench you. Like, he sprayed your car or whatever. But to put him in handcuffs, please take him away. I'm like, that's a little excessive. Even if he did spray water on you, it's a little excessive. It's a little excessive to take him down there for 5 hours. For 5 hours because he sprayed water. That's a little excessive for someone who sprayed water. It really is. Like, I don't understand that. So they must have really been carrying up. It's not a word, but I'm making it up. And it was like, I don't appreciate it. He got water in my whatever. But to be put in handcuffs for 5 hours over he sprayed water, he didn't like that. Just it incenses me while you're tying up officers on some petty crimes when the real shit is going on somewhere else because you got a little wet. That's it. Accidental or not remains to be seen, but that's ridiculous. So no real misdemeanor crimes has been filed yet. He makes a disappearance on October 1st. I think it's all to do about nothing. Like, really, it's a stupid case, like where he sprayed water on a woman accidentally or not. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I think it's just stupid. It's just a waste of everybody's time. If it did happen the way he said he did, where you got a little too close to his car, then you were wrong. We didn't hear their side of it. If they weren't that close and he just turned around and sprayed angrily, who knows? But it's just real stupid to like put somebody in cuffs, hold him for 5 hours because he accidentally, or if he didn't accidentally, he sprayed somebody with water. Like, come on, you could have just like served them a bench warrant there, or not bench warrant, or a desk warrant, or whatever. Come to court or something, find them. But to put them in cuffs, have them down there for 5 hours, it just doesn't make sense. It's just people, bitch and complain about the most wrong things, and you're wasting everybody's time. It's just nonsense. So he's supposed to make an appearance October 1st. So we should get more updates about it. But I think it's stupid. The whole thing it's a waste of time. So I can adjust my camera on. It's just a waste of time, and it's just the whole case sounds just a bunch of Karens bullshitting and complaining, and that's what it sounds like to me. Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's my opinion. I just think it's just much to do about nothing. Moving on. I can't stand her. I can't stand the name, but she fine as hell. Glorilla. Can't stand that name. Glorilla becomes third female rapper. I was told you can't say the word female. One woman gave a tongue lashing. I was saying the word female. I said lecture for another time. Apparently, you still can use it. Um, Glorilla becomes the third female rapper to top mainstream R&B and hip hop airplay chart 6 times. The Memphis Maven joins Cardi B and Nicki Minaj as the only female rapper with a half a dozen number ones on the radio ranking with her latest Typa. For second consecutive years, Glorilla, hate that name, makes multiple number ones on the Billboard Mainstream R&B Hip Hop Airplay chart as Typa tops the survey data as of September 13th, which was yesterday. The single climbs from number 3 to become the most played song on panel contributing R&B and hip hop radio stations in the United States for the tracking week of October 29th to September 4th, according to Luminate. Typa crowns the chart despite a 3% decrease in plays for the week compared to the previous frame. The reduction allows for the triumph as last week's champ, Mariah the Scientist, Burning Blue slides 9% in plays, while Leon Thomas' Mutt, which ranked number 2 last week, falls 11%. With Typa, Glorilla earns a 6th number 1 on mainstream R&B and hip hop airplay, which launched in September 1993. She's the third female rapper to reach half a dozen mark. Cardi B owns 11 leaders and Nicki Minaj claims 10. Here's an updated review of Glorilla's collections. FNF Let's Go with Hit Kid 1 week at number 1, August 20th, 2022. Tomorrow 2 with Cardi B, 10 weeks beginning December 2022. Yeah Glow 2 weeks, May 11th, 2024. TGIF weeks 11, September 21st, 2024. What You Know, as what you know it, KNO, About Me with Sexy Red, 7 weeks, January 18th, 2025. Typa, 1 week to date, September 13th of this year. The Tramp also adds a chapter for a former mainstream R&B and hip hop airplay champ. Typa samples Keisha Cole's Love, which topped the radio ranking for 1 week in April 06. The R&B classic was the second of Cole's 5 number ones, which she earned from 05 to 08. Elsewhere, Typa rises 5 to 4 for a new peak on the rap airplay chart, overcome a 6% dip in audience impressions for the week. The track bolds at its number 6 best on audience-based R&B and hip hop airplay charts, where it slips to 9.7 million impressions for the week. Wow. Like I said, you can't knock her talent. She's very talented. She's fine as hell. I just can't stand the name. I don't like the name Glorilla. That's it. I'm not knocking her skills. It's just, again, I said it before on this show, and I said it numerous times. All these years, African Americans has been avoiding the stereotypes of being called monkeys and apes and gorillas, not glorillas. And the fact that she had people behind her like, yeah, girl, that name is dope. I ain't gonna be a gorilla. I'm gonna be a glorilla. And that's dumb as fuck. That's a horrible, horrible name. It sickens me. Like, she's dope as shit. She's fine as hell. She got a little something, something. Not a big fan of hers per se. I really listen to her music. She got a little something. She fine as hell. But the name, it's just a horrible name. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you in this game, you want longevity, okay? So let's just say she got to be in her mid to late 20s. So you sped up a couple of years, late 30s, early 40s, going to your 50s. You know, still looking good, and you being honored, and you being out, you know, getting the Hall of Fame or something, and it's a Glorilla. And it's just a horrible, horrible name. Horrible name. It's horrible. And she got she could use Hallelujah. Like I said, it was Anya Hallelujah. That's a dope ass name. I'd have used that than Glorilla, but what do I know? But kudos to her and the other females on this chart. I mean, on this list, they doing it, man. I mean, like again, I'm not a fan of today's music, especially from the ladies, female MCs. That's just I'm not feeling it. But they're all very talented. They're all making that money, and apparently they have that pocket of people who love them and love that stuff. And this is their era. It's not my era. You know what I'm saying? I like earlier female MCs who I think are better. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And I went through that last week and the week before last and years and stuff like that. But that's a good look for her and keep up the good work. But that name is just god awful, dude. Like that's just a god awful name. It really is. It's just a horrible name. It's a horrible name. I don't who gave that. Sorry, who gave that the thumbs up? Like yeah, girl, that's a dope name. Yeah. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. That shit is. Yeah, I used to wear it ain't. Yeah, I used to wear it ain't. That's how upset I am. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. That shit's horrible. It's horrible. That Charles Barkley's horrible. Mm-mm. But she doing her thing talent wise. Again, I just not a big fan of the name. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. All right. Dame Dash calls out Cameron for joining 50 Cent for Paid in Full series. You know what? Let me back up a little bit, real quick, and it slipped my mind that fast. When I was reading an article about Glorilla, and they said she used Keisha Cole's Love, the song Love from '06, and Keisha Cole had a couple of number ones on Billboard, and it jogged the memory when the first time I've heard of Keisha Cole's. First time I saw Keisha Cole's, and it was and every time I hear Keisha Cole's, and when I see her, I think of this situation. I think what happened. I was working doing Showtime at the Apollo years ago, right before she hit it big, and sorry, and Keisha had a song with Kanye West. I didn't hear about it. I never heard the song before. I still don't know what the song is. But Kanye was just breaking into his own. Kanye was the old Kanye, not the new Kanye. Not the Kanye I'm about to talk about in a few minutes. You know, I got articles on him. But the original Kanye, you know, college dropout Kanye. And they had a song together. And we were doing Short Time at the Apollo. And she was performing this particular weekend. And I remember we said, well, who Keisha Cole? We never heard of Keisha Cole before at the time. But we knew who Kanye West was. Kanye was the hottest thing going on. So the person who's in charge of the audience was like, all right, just tell everyone Kanye West is coming. Tickets are free. You go around Harlem. Hey, free tickets for Time of the Apollo. Free tickets for Time of the Apollo. Blah, 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 right? Because shows like that, daytime talk shows, late night talk shows, Saturday Night Live, those tickets are free. Some of them are more harder to get than others, but they're free. You don't pay. And if you find yourself paying for a Saturday Night Live ticket or a daytime talk show ticket or a late night talk show ticket, they got you. They're technically free. It's just difficult to get in. You have to stand by because they're on demand because they are free. You know what I mean? So we come, free tickets, Kanye West, blah blah blah. And we didn't mention Keisha Cole at all. Everybody's grabbing the tickets, blah, blah, blah. Everybody grabbed the tickets, and we packed it. And this is during the winter months. And so at the time, Monique was hosting the show. I'm excited because I can see Kanye West. I'm like, man, I don't know Keisha Cole. She's fine as hell, but I definitely, oh man, Kanye West, the hottest thing out there, college dropout. Let's get it. So she comes out, the crowd's on their feet. No, she comes out. Let me back up. Keisha comes out, and she's singing her heart out. Boom, boom, boom. And there's a part, I guess, the audience heard of the song already, where they know Kanye's supposed to come out and do his part. So the crowd, the whole crowd, bottom and below, stands up. I'll never forget, everybody stand up, ready, anticipation to see Kanye come out. Kanye didn't come out. So this recording, we're recording the show, right? You do like 3 shows, like we do maybe a total of maybe 10 or 12 shows during the weekend, like three, whatever. And this is like the middle or the last show, whatever. Record the air at a later date. So we're recording the show, and the time that Kanye was supposed to come out, he didn't come out. So the crowd, Apollo crowds, they started booing. So Monique came out, whoa. It's like, slow. We had to stop the recording. And people were like, they booed her out the building because they, not her personally, but the fact that Kanye didn't come out. Everybody anticipates Kanye. So Monique was like, it's not her fault Kanye's not here. What ended up happening, Kanye was snowed in another city somewhere. So he couldn't make it to New York. They didn't say what city he was in, but he was snowed in due to inclement weather. He couldn't make it. So she was like, that's not her fault. We want to start this over again. Show her the respect. This is Monique saying it. So the whole atmosphere changed. So when she came out and redid it again, like everybody was kind of just sitting there staring. Like there was no energy in the building. No one, because everybody like the wind was taking out of their sails. They already knew we're not gonna see Kanye. We don't know who this girl is. Everybody just blinking, looking like I was blinking at you earlier, like just staring. Applause. And then after the set, I remember Keisha Cole, she was upset. And she was like kind of sobbing, like, it's not my fault he couldn't be here. Because he booed the shit out of her. You fast forward a year or two later, they love her. She's a legend. You know what I mean? Like you never know. To see her start there and end up becoming a big star, it's funny, how we, I guess, treat people, I would say. Because we didn't know who she was at all. So I keep adjusting the camera. Like this angle better. My apologies. We didn't know who she was at all. So, but that still didn't give you just a boo. But now, like the same people that booed her are cheering her and are fans of her. And of course, she went on and became successful. So when I saw that in the Glorilla article, it just triggered a memory. Like, oh yeah, I remember. But anytime I see or hear her, I see Keisha Cole's name or see her or hear the song, I just think of that first time I saw her was there and how it went from boos to eventually a lot of cheers because she's very talented and she obviously became very successful and people became a fan of her. But at that time they didn't want to see her, they wanted to see Kanye. So I just always figured I'd share that with you guys. So just a little useless information. Uh Moving on. Dame Dash calls out Cameron for joining 50 Cent for Paid in Full series. Quote, 50 is now your new boss. A 2002 film was executive produced by Dash and is considered a classic by the hip hop community. Dame Dash has responded to the news of 50 Cent and Cameron teaming up to develop and produce a television series based on the O2 cult classic Paid in Full. 50 recently announced that he purchased the rights to the movie and has Cam attached to as an executive producer. Quote, I now have the rights to Paid in Full. I'm in developing into a premium TV show, he captioned on Instagram. If you like Godfather of Harlem, you're gonna like this. Cam set to executive produce alongside me. If you want to get at him, I'm out of the country. And it continues. After the news was announced, Dame took to the Instagram to congratulate Cam and wish them the best of luck. Well, sort of. Quote, Cam just made a major announcement. Dash said in the video, I want to congratulate him for making 50 his new boss. So congratulations, Cam. 50 is now your new boss, and you're proud of it. Congratulations, my N-word. Painful was loosely based on teenage Harlem drug kingpin AZ AZ Faison, Rich Porter, and Albert Alpo Martinez, and was executive produced by Dash and starred Cameron as Rico, which was a character based on Alpo. Uh, in fact, earlier in the year, the Harlem rapper told a story about randomly running into Alpo before the former drug dealer Kingpin was killed in a road rage incident back in 2021, and said Martinez critiqued his portrayal in the movie. "Quote: I meant to tell you, man." Alpo apparently said, "You did a great job in the movie. Your movement was off a little bit. You wasn't moving exactly how I move, but you did a good job." I heard about this. Pay the Fool. I like that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It was done very well. It was directed by my man. I can't think his name. He's from Philly, and I can't think of his name offhand. But it was pretty good. Wood Harrison and Mekhi Phifer, um, Regina Hall, She McBride. It's some very noteworthy actresses in the movie. And I think Cameron did a pretty good job as Alpo. And of course, those who were being portrayed in the movie, they're going to critique the actor who portrayed him. I would have did it more like this. And like, well, dude, like we can't get you down exact. You know what I mean? They're doing the best that they can. Everyone who always, and I always heard stories, anyone who had a biography done on them or something, and someone act them out, the real life person always critique the actor like, nah, I kind of tilted my neck more like this. Nah, and I kind of pronounced my words more like this. It's like, all right, we get it. You know, you look, we even doing the film and putting the spotlight on you. Uh, I'm curious to see what the paid in full TV show is going to look like compared to the movie itself. Kind of more like a BMF type thing. And I think, in my opinion, 50 hired Cam as executive producer as a shot towards Dame Dash. I think that's just is like, I think he did that on purpose. And of course, Dash, very tongue in cheek, was like, "Hey, 50, your new boss. I hope you like that." You know what I mean? Like, he's your boss now. You gotta listen to him. Real petty kitty type shit. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised somewhere down the line, whether it's Stars, whether it's HBO, maybe Netflix, maybe on his own network on Pluto, that you'll see the paid in full TV series probably sometime maybe in 2027. I give it 2 years out because he's got the rights. So I'm thinking all 2026 they'll do it, and maybe by 2027 you'll see the actual show. I'm curious to see it. The movie is pretty good. I think the movie is pretty good, and we'll see what happens. But I think again, it's a subtle petty shot made by 50 towards Dame Dash by like announcing Cam, because Cam and Dame Dash are beefing, and we went over that I think last week or whatever. And then of course Dash, who could have just let it go, had to go in the video and respond back. He could have just not. He could not respond at all. Like whatever. But he made his point. He made his point to like, I'm gonna say something to this, and I'm gonna take a subtle shot at him like, congratulations, he's your new boss. He could have just let that go. That's that petty kid shit. Let it go. A real G, a real boss, let that go over his head. Like whatever. Okay, keep it moving. You ain't gotta. You don't have to. You don't have to respond. Quite frankly, you could have just let it go. I'm like, all right, well, you got it. But yeah, you had to get the last word and take a shot at him and say that. So, but kids games. Um, what are you going to do? It wasn't necessary on either side. That's how I see it. Like 50 know that, and 50 play those chess games. He knows him and Dash, Kim and Dash are not, not on good terms. And so I'm rubbing in his face. Yeah, I bought the rights. I got your boy Cam on it. And then Dame Dash want to have the last word. Like, I hope you're happy. Congratulations. He's your new boss. He's your new boss. And it's like, grow up, you guys. Like, this, just grow up. Seriously, like this, that's not even necessary. But we'll see what happens. Time goes on with the show, when it's going to air, and all that good stuff. And I'm curious to see who they're going to get to portray these characters in the TV version, and what streaming service is going to be on, and all that. So I'm expecting maybe I'm thinking 2027. That's what I'm thinking. 2027. Yeah, that should be right. All right, moving on. Here we go. Move this out the way. Sorry. Tyler Perry lawyer calls actor Derek Dixon's sexual assault lawsuit a scam. Tyler will not be shaken down. Excuse me. Tyler Perry attorney is calling out accuser Derek Dixon for filing a $260 million lawsuit against Perry. In June, Dixon accused Perry of a quid pro quo sexual harassment, sexual battery, sexual assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, retaliation, and more, according to court documents previously obtained by this article. Dixon alleged that Perry, 55, created a I'll get it right. I'll get it out. Make myself laugh. I can't get the word out. Coercive. I'm stumbling on this word. Sexually exploitative dynamic. Live recording, and I can't get that word out. And as soon as I click the stop, I'll get it out. Between them while he was starred in the filmmaker shows The Oval and Ruthless. The complaint also accused Perry of initially promising his career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his shows, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. During his first televised interview since filing the lawsuit, Dixon told ABC News this past Tuesday he arrived at the amount of $260 million in damages because he lost his job. He lost his job, income, and the show. The other part of that is detriment to how do you stop a billionaire who won't stop themselves from doing this, he added. Matthew Boyd, an attorney for Perry, denied allegations in a statement saying this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. He continued Tyler will not be shaken down and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. During the sit-down interview, Dixon said he hopes Perry will take accountability for what happened and that the filing taught Perry to not treat your employees this way and to never use someone's dream to coerce them into a relationship that's not professional. Dixon said justice for him would be if something like this won't happen to another actor that works for him and another actor in the industry, along with getting the $260 million. I said that part. He didn't say that. Dixon first claimed he and Perry met in September 2019 in Atlanta. Dixon alleged in the complaint that over the next few months, Perry often text him sometimes with subjective advances, but also that he wanted to find Dixon a job and change his life. Dixon claimed that in November 2019, Perry offered him a small role on Ruthless and allegedly sexually assaulted him at Perry's home in January 2020. The next month, Perry offered Dixon a series regular on The Oval, according to the complaint. In the filing, Dixon then recounted a moment after filming The Oval when Perry invited him to his trailer. Perry allegedly pinned Dixon to the wall and began aggressively groping Dixon's buttocks and his sexual motion. Dixon claimed that he was similarly groped during a cash trip in the Bahamas in October 2020. Dixon alleged that in December 2020, he visited a physician who indicated that Dixon's exhibited severe symptoms of acute stress, insomnia, stomach issues, and dangerously low cortisone levels due to the sexual harassment and assault, and prescribed him Zoloft, an antidepressant. Perry allegedly invited Dixon to his house again in June 2021 to discuss Dixon's plot for the show Losing It, where Perry allegedly sexually assaulted Dixon per the complaint. Years later, in January 2023, Dixon informed Perry that he was moving to California to put some distance between them. Dixon continued to star in the Oval, but left during the show's final season, a move he claimed resulted to him losing out to close to $400,000. Uh, that's crazy. Here's the thing, and I bring this up. Y'all can boo me, send your hate X tweets or whatever you want to call me, or whatever you want to call it to me. It only takes one for me. It takes one for someone does anything appropriate, touching me or whatever the case may be. But as always, people are more career goal minded than anything. He's more concerned about his TV show and his opportunity than to tell this man early on, hey man, don't touch me like that. Don't do this, that, and the other. Because if I'm a lawyer and I'm not, obviously, I would say, what took you so long? Why would you let this continue on? As soon as he has done that, the first thing you should have did was press charges, call the police, or whatever. He did it multiple times, and it incenses me when I hear stories like this. And it was like, you let this go a second, third, fourth, and fifth time. But if you read between the lines, they're still working with them. They're still like, well, they keep telling me they're going to do this with my career, and they want to do this and this. So you're doing this. You're putting yourself through. You're putting yourself through all this stress and trauma to be a star, to have your own show. Because I'd have shut this shit down. I'd have filed a complaint against him quicker than the cat can lick. As soon as he put his hands inappropriately on me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of confused by that. Like, why did you wait so long? And as soon as he did it, I'm like, look, man, look, this ain't gonna happen. Fair warning, first time, don't touch me like that. He continues, then you do what you gotta do. But you don't let it go for years and have different occasions. They show up at his house when they invite you, when you know he did this. It's a lot of stuff there that he's saying that if I'm a good lawyer, I'm gonna pick that apart, and I can see that I'm not a lawyer. Again, all this is my opinion, and I'm just going off of what I'm hearing and what have you. I'm not blaming and pointing fingers. It's just that you should have got him in the beginning when he first did it. But a lot of times when I read stories on this show where someone is in a situation with another person of power in the industry, um, it it's kind of like, oh, it just happened this year, and it happened multiple times, and they're holding on and hoping that if I get through this, I get my show and I can whatever. And then you turn around, as it happened, you like, I don't want this to never happen to nobody else, and this and this. And my question again is, how do you get 260 million? Because that's a high number to reach. Oh, you lost your job and all this stuff. No, you reach it because he's a fucking billionaire. Just say that he's a billionaire. He can afford it. Don't get me all I'm stressed out, lost jobs, and none of your jobs won't tally up to $260 million. Nay, dude. No, like you're not a high request of an actor. Trust me, because not too many people know who you are. Yeah, it's harsh to say, right? But it's true. You know who you're watching right now. It's me. You know I speak my mind. Um, to let it go on this long, it to me is baffling. Again, people like Tyler Perry, Diddy, whoever, black, white, whatever, they're not gods, they're human beings. And you should not be scared of them. The only thing to separate us from them is status. That's it. Otherwise than that, they're human beings. And they should not get away with doing deplorable things like this. You stop them. No career, none of that stuff is worth it. You stop them, you put them down, you put them away, so this won't happen at all. It's not cool. It's not cool at all that you had to go through that. It's just not. But like I said, it's frustrating because it's like you got this happen multiple times. But I think he did it. Like I said, was because the fact that he wanted to have his own show and he opened more doors for him. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because at the end of the day, that shit like that comes and go, like TV shows and wealth and status. But what happens to you, it lingers and it damages you. There's a lot of people who's going through it. You stuck with that. At the end of the day, you stuck with that. And you got to stop in the beginning. You got to get these monsters in the beginning. If he allegedly did this, if he didn't do it, and you dragging his name through the mud, like, and you just doing it just to get money. I don't know. Who knows? What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, what I always say is, do not let this get past the first time. You don't have to be subjected to this. You do not have to be subjected to this at all. Handle it. You call the proper authorities, get these motherfuckers in handcuffs, and put them away. Don't let it happen 2, 3, 4 times because you're thinking, all right, I'll get through it if I do a pro quo whatever with this person, I can get what I want, and it never really ends well that way. So it just, I don't know. It's frustrating to hear that because it's not necessary. It's not necessary to put yourself through that. This shit could have been solved a while back, but you're more concerned about your career than anything else. That's what it sounds like to me. And I know you guys are like, oh God, but that's what it sounds like to me. You guys may envision it something differently or hear it differently, but that's when I read that. That's or read anything else. That's what comes to mind at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So what are you gonna do? What you're gonna do is not endure yourself in that anymore. Like, get out of that. You know what I'm saying? What else? I have. Speaking of Kanye, I'm pulling it up so I'm quiet. Elon Musk and Kanye West dish on Grimes, Kim Kardashian, Kim Kardashian relationship drama, and bizarre documentary moment. Elon Musk and Kanye West chat about their love lives and the rapper's forthcoming documentary, In Whose Name. The duo spoke candidly about their respective relationships with Grimes and Kim Kardashian in a bizarre clip obtained by The Hollywood Reporter. Quote, so are you and Kim off and on or something? The Tesla CEO asked West while they rested on a bed, or I don't know. It's too hard to tell. The Grammy winner awkwardly laughed, prompting Musk to discuss his on again, off again relationship with Grimes, born Claire Elise Boucher. Claire and I, Grimes, we're sort of in the same text stream. She's like, I love you, and then like a day later, like, I hate you. The billionaire 54 shared the 37-year-old singer whom he dated between 2018 and 2022. West 48 smiled while Musk seemingly attempted to break the tension with laughter. And what do you do? The Heartless rapper responded. You probably know exactly. I'm like, well, okay. The businessman said. The two then stood in silence until West finally said, "I don't have the answers. Answers to everything except for that." While together, Musk and Grimes, 37, welcomed their 5-year-old son. Oh man, I can't pronounce that name at all. Yeah, I can't really pronounce that name. A 4-year-old daughter, Exa Dark. I'm messing that up. and a 3-year-old son, Techno. I can pronounce that one. Techno Mechanicus. I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. The 5-year-old son, I can't pronounce the name. It looks weird. The 4-year-old daughter, Exa Dark Sadarizi, and 3-year-old son, Techno Mechanicus. I'm this is what they're saying. I didn't even know that till I just read that. Wow. Okay. Since splitting, the former couple have taken their contentious custody battle public, with Grimes allegedly via X last year that she hasn't seen one of her kids in 5 months amid negotiations. Grimes also publicly advocated for the privacy of her kids in February after Musk brought their oldest son to meet with President Trump at the White House. Quote, he should not be in public like this, the singer wrote via X at the time, but I'm glad he was polite. Sigh. The same month, Grimes alleged that Musk, who shares 14 kids with 4 women, was ignoring a medical crisis regarding one of their children. West and Kardashian. Let me read that again. That same month, Grimes alleged that Musk, who shares 14 kids with 4 women, did not know that, was ignoring a medical crisis regarding one of their children. West and Kardashian, meanwhile, parted ways in 2021 after 7 years of marriage and 4 children. The hitmaker and the Skills founder, 44, are parents to North 12, St. 9, Chicago 7, Psalm 6, and have similarly butted heads online over the co-parenting. In March, West alleged on X that the Kardashian mom doesn't allow him to have a say in where his little ones go to school or what they wear. Quote, don't. Sorry, I had a pop up here. Sorry about that. Sorry. Trying to get rid of this pop up. Wait a minute. I legit had a. I'm reading this and the pop up. Sorry, there you go. So it said, "Don't quote. Don't want to just see my kids." He wrote at the time. I need to raise them. I need to have my. I need to say. I need to have. I need to have say. My daughters wear lipstick and perfume. Later that month, it was revealed that Kardashian and West got into a heated argument after the latter featured their eldest daughter North on a track with convicted felon Sean Diddy Combs. It was learned that Kardashian star's priority is the well-being and safety of her children, and to protect them from being around Kanye's controversial behavior. Kardashian notably will appear in the Whose Name documentary, which comes out later this week. Yeah. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Well. I don't know what to say. I don't. I have no idea what to say to that. I really don't. That just sounds very weird. I'm actually curious to see that documentary. I really am. I'm really curious to see more about it. To see those two together, Elon Musk and Kanye West. I'm very interested in seeing it. I don't know where it's going to pop up. I don't know what streaming service or whatever the case may be. But I do want to see it. And it's just, I didn't know Elon Musk had four. I don't follow him, so I didn't know he had 14 kids from 4 different women. But I guess you're a billionaire. You can spread the seeds. You can take care of them. So you know how that goes. But I didn't know that. And here's the thing, though. I always say you should not make private things public. If you're beefing with someone, then keep it private. Whether you're a civilian or celebrity alike, you should keep it private. You should not make it public and go after them and stuff like that. I don't think it's cool because you leaving yourself open for opinions that you don't want to hear or that you don't want. Period. And then when you hear it, you get all mad and why they saying about this and this and this. Well, you left yourself wide open. You're putting you're putting yourself out there and I hate this person, this and this. And I never understood why do that. Like, what is your end game on putting your personal business out there to the public? A civilian and civilian and celebrity. Like, I never ever understood that. I never did. You just to me, like I say, you open yourself up for ridicule and pains that you really don't want. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to deal with it. None of that stuff. So I never. I don't understand when people do that at all. I kind of really don't get that. Keep it private, especially you got kids involved or old enough to read and stuff like that. It's just try to like at least on your end keep it as mature as possible. Try to, it's easy to say and hard to do, but there's something that you just try at least try to do that. You know what I mean? I never understood why people would do anything public like that at all. It's just I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. Why it doesn't? I mean, it makes for great entertainment, but it's something that I still don't know why people uh, would just make something so private so public. When you're going through a serious dispute with someone and involve your kids and marriage and so forth, and you're saying vile stuff to the public and just showing it and revealing it. And I think that's just it's not a cool thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. It's not a good look for anyone. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make them look good. And I think a lot of this stuff should be done in house. Um, you know what I mean? It should be. So when I see when people are like really going at it on social media, and I mean, and sometimes it makes me cringe. I'm like, should you really be saying that publicly? You know what I mean? Should you really be saying that publicly? But to each his own on the microphone. They're going to do what they're going to do, and people don't mind that. And that's fine. Um, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But I never understood why people will go to social media when they get angry to air out their public laundry on someone they dealing with. I don't understand. Like, what's your end game? I don't get that. So maybe you guys know the answer. Maybe you guys who out there who watch this or listen to this, you may know. Maybe you might tell me and explain to me why. What's the purpose? Because I don't I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you're trying to embarrass that person or something. Who knows? But whatever. All right, everyone. I'm gonna get ready to wrap things up here on this week's episode of NYPA Entertainment Radio. Thank you so much for taking the time out for this week's show. And as always, like I said, press the subscribe button here on YouTube, Spotify, more platforms to come, especially when I move to the new show of Who is Kyle Graham in 2026. Thank you so much, as always. And look, let everybody know about NYP Team Radio. Then let them know that Who is Kyle Graham is following behind that. I got a lot of things I'm trying to miss some surprises for the new show. And like I said, I'm going to finish this show at the end of the year. I'm gonna celebrate my 15th season later on this month, and then I'm gonna wrap it up like I want to wrap it up in December of this year. I want to do it my way. I want to do it the way I want to do it. I'm gonna leave it my own terms and all that good stuff. But thank you, and remember, believe whatever high power you believe in. Take it one day at a time. I know it's rough whatever you're going through. Stick with it. Take it day by day. And trust me, I know I'm going through some things myself. So just, again, believe whatever high power you believe in. Try to stay positive. Try to keep positive people around you. And I hope I've done my part this week and every week and do my best to entertain you on NYP Entertainment Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lord willing, I will see you next week for another episode on the final run, the final journey of NYPA Entertainment Radio. Can't play the outro, but we all know the show is over. Have a good week, everybody. NYPA Entertainment Radio.